How you doing? Ryan Nolan here from Creatively Challenged. Every week we try to give you guys the best sounding podcast that we can as college students. And unfortunately this week, due to some audio software problems, we cannot deliver on a movie review and we can't deliver on one of our discussion topics because it ended up getting so badly skipped from the recording that we can't even present it to you. And so we've only got a few bits of news and a small discussion topic, and unfortunately, that's all we can give you this week. We're going to be back at it next week, hopefully with things solved here. Your patience is very, very valued here. We're just kind of making everything up as we go along, and so without further ado, here's this week's show. Hello and welcome to the Creatively Challenged podcast, where each week we talk about entertainment news and random topics we bring to this $34 card table. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Nolan, and I'm here with my friend, Mike Stuglis. How are you doing today, Mike?
Hola.
He did it. He did Cinco de Mayo, and he's doing the Mexican.
It's the 5th.
That's right. It's
the
Cinco de
5th.
Mayo, and seated across the table is Danny Stewart. How you doing, Dan?
I am Groot.
That's a quote from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We've got a review on that coming up
Actually,
later.
it's higher pitched now that it's Baby
yeah.
Groot.
I am Groot.
That was actually really close. That was good. So we got a review coming up later. But first, we got some news. What have we got this week?
I am Groot.
Oh, I got the first news.
That
story
is you.
here.
That
That's
is
me. So this week we had.
Sorry, I was saying, Ryan, you have the first news topic in Groot language.
So this.
in Groot language.
Well, what does he speak? Groot.
I don't know. So this week,
So
Sony Pictures dropped the Dark Tower trailer. This movie looks really exciting. It features Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey in a film adaptation of the Stephen King novel series, The Dark Tower, I believe is what they're called.
Mhm.
It looked pretty cool. What do you guys think?
I liked Idris Elba as the gunslinger. I liked Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black. For a while, I was a little worried about this movie because I knew it was coming out in August, and there was no teaser, no trailer, nothing. And it seemed like they released all the posters, TV spots, and trailers all within the same day. And it looks good. Visuals look really good. I love that the trailer was set to an old Ennio Morricone score. The vibe, I was super into it. I'm super stoked to see this movie in August.
Dan?
That's the...
Well, we've talked about it before on this show, how much of a Stephen King fan I am, though I've never read any of The Dark Tower.
Okay.
And this is kind of like a big deal. This is like, hey, Danny, why don't you read The Dark Tower? And I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. And, I'm very excited. I think the marketing for this movie has done an excellent job. First, it was just like, okay, this movie's going to be a thing. And then, like Mike said, all on the same day, they released their posters and their trailers. And it was just like, all right, this movie's going to be fucking good. Like, the cast is great. The trailer looked awesome, and I'm excited to see this. And I should crack open the book this summer and catch up on what the hell is going on. But Idris Elba could be referred to as the Dark Tower himself. What do you think?
There were so many cool shots of him like loading his gun and shit.
It was
like
all
that.
loading his gun. It was awesome.
The one where it's like the fucking like bullets are falling in the air and he catches them with his gun. That was awesome.
I was reading up on what the Dark Tower is all about, and apparently the Dark Tower itself is like a interdimensional link between all of Stephen King novels. So that's why there were two Easter eggs to both it and The Shining. There was a picture frame of the Overlook Hotel, and the old Pennywise the Clown sign was in the trailer. If you missed it, it was really cool.
My god, that's sweet.
Is Andy Dufresne going to be in it?
No, probably not. He's just gonna be crawling through shit in the background.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and it's just such a like interesting sci-fi.
Is Gordy LaChance in it?
I don't know who that is.
That's Stand By Me.
Oh,
But no, Dan, he's not in it.
no. Maybe. I mean,
That-
there could be more Easter eggs. We don't know.
Is James Caan in
No.
No.
it? He was in Misery.
I don't think there's going to be
I think it
anything
was
with
Paul.
small nods.
I think his name was Paul
Okay.
in that movie.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's pretty cool. Maybe they're gonna start connecting those. Who knows?
Seeing Idris Elba and Pennywise go at it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to have a giant Christopher Walken universe of Stephen King movies.
It'd be good. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got on that. It's a good trailer.
Yeah.
All right. What's our next story?
What is next?
That's you, Mike.
Okay.
I am
Jeremy Renner has now bought the rights to star and produce in a Doc Holliday movie. And recent people that have played Doc Holliday are Val Kilmer in Tombstone and Dennis Quaid in the Wyatt Earp movie. I know it's only in the early production, but I think this is awesome. I think Jeremy Renner is someone who definitely has the physique to play Doc Holliday, and a biopic about this notorious gunslinger turned was he a marshal or something like that? I think it has potential to be really good because I love Jeremy Renner, and I can't wait to hear about the future of this project. What do you think, Dan? I know you're a Tombstone guy like myself.
I'm your Huckleberry. I just love Western films, and Tombstone is one of my favorites. And Val Kilmer is obviously the standout of that film as Doc Holliday. He's a very interesting character, and Kilmer kind of gives this impression that Doc Holliday is like everybody's favorite character, and he's like, obviously he's like a gambling, shooting piece of shit, but like people love him. But really, in history, he's not a good guy. He's a fucking murderer. So I don't know what kind of tone Jeremy Renner can take with this character, but I'm excited to see it. Doc Holliday is very famous in terms of Tombstone, Oklahoma, and everywhere around it. So I'm excited to see an extension of his story that maybe we haven't seen before.
Well, Val Kilmer's so electric in that role, and we've seen a lot from Jeremy Renner. The guy's so much range, and I just think that this is a role that I could definitely see him in. It's just going to be hard to get Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday out of my head when I'm watching
definitely.
Jeremy Renner, but I'm sure he'll do a great job.
That's
Do you have any
cool.
input, Ryan?
I'm a man who
cool.
hasn't seen Tombstone, and I'm aware I should have seen it. But the idea of Jeremy Renner in a Western setting excites me. I don't know that he's ever been in a Western before, but I'm looking forward to this. I probably should see Tombstone.
I mean, it's not like it's a must, but you should because it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's not like a must to get into all you got to do is read a Wikipedia page on Doc Holliday, and you know what he is, and you know what Jeremy Renner's going to play. So yeah, it's an early development, but I just thought it was a good bit of news that really interesting because this is a character that's been played numerous times. And
Well, wait, is Doc Holliday an actual historical figure?
Yes.
Oh,
he was
okay, I didn't know that.
he was a friend of Wyatt Earp that helped him take out some outlaws, but in the process he's a turned dentist gunslinger, and he got diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he became this gambler, this drinker, and he basically got a license to kill because he was good with a pistol, so they took him to defeat the bad guys at OK Corral.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
I got 2 guns, one for each of you. Yeah. God, I love Tombstone.
Yeah, he's so quotable in that movie.
No.
That's one, but yeah, awesome character, and I'm super excited for that.
Sweet.
All right, so the next bit of news is so here's this thing going around the internet. This internet that we got. Josh Gad, you know him as LeFou in Beauty and the Beast. You know him as Olaf in Frozen. You know him as that guy in that terrible comedy with Kevin Hart.
The Wedding Ringer, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
I
one.
think that's the name.
That's the one.
Yeah. He's also in The Internship, but
He's in the internship?
yeah, he's the guy with the headphones. And
I
the
don't
beard.
remember that.
All right.
Yeah, they call him headphones. That's literally his character
They
name.
call him headphones.
All right, but Josh Gad on his Twitter, he posted a photo of the Penguin, Batman villain Penguin, who we discussed about last week, Joe Pesci Penguin. But just the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, just a picture, no caption, no nothing. And then these 2 guys, hold on, let me pull up their names. these two guys that are like DC movie executives.
Do you know who it is?
Jeff Johns and John Berg followed him on Twitter. And they've also followed Joe Manganiello, who got casted to play Deathstroke in the new Batman movie. They followed what's his name before the Flash. So these guys they follow guys right about before they're in movies. So people are like, hey, maybe, just maybe, this picture and these guys following him is all but confirming that Josh Gad is going to be the next Penguin. What do you guys think? Huh? What do you think about not Joe Pesci as the Penguin?
I think that'd be excellent casting. I mean, depending if this is going to be incredibly serious like the rest of the DC movies have been, but Josh Gad, if I'm assuming that he's going to be a more comedic sort of Penguin, more of a character, I think that'd be really good. I think he could really nail something here. He's a very theatrical man, and I would maybe want to see a Penguin that is not serious but is incredibly dangerous. You know, he's a loose cannon. I think that kind of fits the bill.
I could see him as a not the Riddler, but a Riddler-esque Penguin. You know what I'm saying? Those characteristics put into a updated Penguin. I could see.
Campy or what
no,
do you mean?
what's what I'm very mind game, and he speaks in these like fluent sentences, and he tries to outsmart Batman. If they put more of a twist on it instead of a mob feel, which the Penguin usually is, I think it could work really well. If he was more of a mastermind than just like a hardcore dirty villain, I would say.
Well,
I like
this. It's interesting to try and formulate this character kind of into a modern superhero film structure. Because as of late, like in terms of superhero movies, they try to make it as realistic as possible. And that kind of started, but not really, like with Tim Burton, obviously, his first two Batman movies. Second one had Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and we discussed him as well.
He's talking about shoving his flipper up people's stuff.
He is like the perfect Penguin, but he was dark, you know? And Tim Burton still had that, like, goofy, kind of cartoony vibe, but DeVito was still kind of a darker version of the Penguin. And then in the animated series, obviously Cobblepot's just a fucking, goofy cartoon character. So I kind of don't know how Josh Gad goes about this in this new superhero universe where, like, the story seemed to be heavily centralized around the actors and how well they can play their characters rather than being a good story. Because that's the way all the DC movies have been so far. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, how he plays the character to make his own, like, chapter in the DC movie universe. Because so far, I mean, out of the bad DC movies that have been in Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad and Man of Steel in brackets because that's actually an alright movie, but the characters have been great in them, and there's nothing been wrong with like the acting. It's just kind of like the storytelling's not so good.
We might also underestimate Josh Gad as just being typecasted as the funny kind of companion guy. Maybe he can take a turn and be darker. He's still relatively new to film, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm underestimating him. I'm just like curious to see whether he takes the goofy cartoon side or a dark side. I kind of don't know what this DC universe would allow their Penguin to be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're still dwelling in rumors here, so let's give it time, really. But
yeah,
there's potential here,
big time.
Yeah. Our next piece of news is quite interesting. I was kind of caught off guard by this one. It involves our favorite man, Jeff Goldblum. We love Jeff Goldblum,
and our second favorite,
our second favorite man, Danny DeVito. Apparently, Amazon is developing a new original series where they star as these two retired musicians who are once in a music duo, and they have to come together for some reason. I don't know. But the two of them in a comedic series where they're going to be curmudgeons coming at each other. I'm all for this. I don't know when it comes out. I don't even think they have a title yet. But just the fact that these two men are coming together in a comedy show developed by Amazon. They've been making some good content over there. I couldn't be more excited.
If you have a very short man and a very tall man, the comedy's going to work. And if you have Jeff Goldblum and Danny DeVito, the comedy's going to work even more. I want this to be a dirty, drug-filled, and vulgar show because that is what Danny DeVito is good at. I know Jeff Goldblum can pull it off. The idea of these two being in a show together to me sounds hilarious.
Well, maybe Goldblum might be the straight man to DeVito.
That's what I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's the one that's gone straight since they were off, and DeVito's just become super
That'd be good.
unhealthy
That'd
and
be
like
really
a
good.
piece of shit. Essentially, Frank Reynolds.
Yeah.
The thing about Goldblum is one of the reasons why we love him, why I love him, is because he's such an awkward funny. Like he's just like himself all the time, and it's great, and it feeds into the roles that he plays, and this one I hope is no different. Like I just love Goldblum, and Danny DeVito on the other hand, he's always with the quick jokes and the banter and you know, and It's Always Sunny. Like he's so fucking funny as Frank Reynolds. So like I'm excited to kind of see him play like, you know, a very similar character, like basically just play himself. And Jeff Goldblum just play himself. Why don't you just make like a reality TV show with these two guys, you know?
Those hungry bastards ate cat food every day. What's the worst thing that could happen?
That's It's Always Sunny, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
some little kid choke on a hairball and die. So you toss him in the soup.
She's a goddamn whore.
So yeah, we're excited to say the least. Is that what we have on this? Okay.
Love Goldblum.
Yeah,
I'd give Goldblum 5 out of 5.
five Goldblum.
Always. Dan, you have our next discussion
Our last
topic.
discussion.
I do. All right. Yesterday, the plan was we record yesterday, but our thing got fucked up, and I'm pissed about it. I'm not really that pissed about it. I don't care. But yesterday was May the 4th, which makes today Revenge of the 5th.
Ha.
Yeah, get it? Our roommates are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So, yesterday being May the 4th, us being, you know, huge Star Wars fans, we got to have a Star Wars discussion on this Revenge of the 5th. So this is a topic where you picking out your ideal Star Wars fantasy. Who would you be, or not who would you be, like in the Star Wars, like you're your own, you're you. But what would you be, like where would you live in the Star Wars universe, and, you know, like what would you do?
I'll kick it off. I would be not a Sith Lord. That's too evil. But this is our fantasy. I would be a bounty hunter. I would join the Mandalorian army. Once I got established, got that kick-ass armor, I would move to the Forest Moon of Endor in seclusion and hang out with the Ewoks if I wanted to. But I'd live on Endor, which is the if people don't know, it is the setting in Return of the Jedi, the forest. And that's where I would live. And there, I'd just chill out. And when I wasn't working, I'd hang out in the forest, go hiking and shit. But when I was working, I'd get contracts there, and I'd go wherever I was needed in the planet, and I'd go fucking kill people for some credits.
So you just stay on Endor there? In the moon of
Endor
Endor?
and gather my credits and just live a secluded life. And then when I had to work, I got to go work with maybe my pal Boba Fett, and I get along. We both wear Mandalorian armor.
Do you work for Jabba?
Yeah, I work for Jabba.
Okay.
But I'm not stationed on fucking
Tatooine.
Dan, what are you going to be?
I wouldn't be a Republic Jedi. I'd want to be like a Obi-Wan Kenobi, like post Revenge of the Sith, or like Kanan and Ezra in Star Wars Rebels, like where I'm a surviving Jedi of Order 66, and I kind of no longer follow a Jedi code. I just kind of follow my own code, though I'm still like a force-wielding, lightsaber-wielding hung-ass motherfucker.
What lightsaber you got? What kind?
It's blue.
It was blue. Okay.
It's blue. I'm a blue guy. I'm like, you know these colors. So blue is like more of a like a fucking swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
Green is more of like a force wielder. Like yellow is like a Jedi Knight Guard person. I don't know. There's a ton of them. Read a book.
They like guard the
They like guard
the-
Jedi temples.
yeah guard Jedi. Yeah.
And so I've got my blue lightsaber. So I'm hiding right under like Sheev's fucking like cape. I live on Coruscant. I'm just a city guy. I do odd jobs, and I make my way while also being like a secret, like Assassin's Creed, like fucking guy. And I occasionally just take out clone troopers and cause trouble for the Empire whenever I can, and be like kind of a shadow on the wall, be like a rumored, there's still a Jedi out there, but like I never reveal myself. I'm just kind of like, a secret Jedi. Who kind of takes care of himself while also taking care of a lot of people on Coruscant.
So you got a little bit of a purpose there.
Exactly.
We work in the dark to serve the light. Isn't that Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is my character still alive in episode 8?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Could be canon.
We'll see. So, that's what I'm doing. You guys might be talking to the star of episode 9.
Oh, also, if you guys are listening to this section and you guys want to comment on the bodyguard and this, feel free to. We'd love to hear your ideas as well.
We haven't gotten any comments yet, so it'd be awesome.
It'd be cool.
We love comments.
Yeah.
I'm a big comment guy.
All right, Ryan, what would you do?
Well, you guys are picking some hard lives, man.
It is the ideal fantasy.
You're picking some difficult lives, and maybe I'm just not built for that, So I'm gonna get a nice cushy job at the hot pretzel stand on the Death Star. I don't want to meddle too much in anybody's business. I mean, I'm sure they probably have health benefits in the Empire. I gotta look after if I have a family or something. And
You're on
God,
the right side.
Yeah.
I just love a good hot pretzel, and I want to be able to share that with the rest of the people.
Has
Director
has Darth Vader ever come by?
No, once I saw him walking through the hallway, and I like try and wave. I didn't catch his eye though.
You're lucky you didn't get choked.
No.
Yeah.
Director Krennic's eating like fucking pretzels, and he gets like cheese on his
On his
white
white-
cape, and he's like, ah!
Or Grand Moff Tarkin, has he ever come by?
No, I mean,
Has he said, "You may fire when ready"?
He's on the lower
when he's
floors.
talking about you're like squirting the hot cheese onto the pretzel, and he
I
goes,
mean-
"You may fire when ready."
listen, everybody in the Empire's kind of got their own opinions on things, but nobody crosses the pretzel guy. If there's one thing everybody loves, it's pretzels and imposing a single order upon the galaxy.
Do you support what they do?
I don't try. I just get the cheese and the pretzels and I heat them up, and that's I don't think too much about their stuff. They
How's
they
the business
support me, I'll
going?
support them. Constant flow.
Who's surprisingly a nice guy?
A nice guy.
Yeah, who's surprisingly a nice guy? Like, I imagine the Death Troopers as assholes.
Every once in a while, Boba Fett comes in when they got to do some contract work.
Wow.
One time, he tipped me 1,000 credits.
Wow. Guy makes money, so he
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. I like to think he was smiling and winked under that helmet of his. But I mean, yeah, it's fun to see him come around. I'm always happy to see him.
That's a bit of trivia you would not know.
Yeah, I mean, underneath all of that, he was a kid.
At one point.
He was
Yeah,
a
I mean-
kid. He saw his father get decapitated, but he never lost his love for pretzels. So I'm glad he's still taking care of the little guys. Like I'm
Yeah,
glad
he's looking out for us.
I'm glad the pretzel stand's doing well on the Death Star.
But that's what I do.
Wait.
What?
What happens in the hypothetical situation the Death Star blows up? What happens? To the
That was on
pretzel
a
stand?
Saturday.
Well-
He's a Monday through Friday guy.
Well, Dan, I mean, I still stay in the station, but in that kind of circumstance, I think the cheese might be too hot to eat. So, any other final thoughts?
Let's end it on that.
That's a
we we can't go off of this now. All right, yeah,
All right.
we're done. We're done here.
That is this week's podcast. Please remember to rate and subscribe to us on iTunes. It would mean a great deal if you went out of your way to find us. And please just rate us and subscribe to us. We are on YouTube as well. A like and subscribe, even comments on what you think you would want to be in the Star Wars universe would be very interesting to us. We're going to have links to that in the description. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. Any final thoughts? This is episode 10. We made it 10 episodes.
Gonna make more.
Yeah.
Although we got to figure the summer thing out. of how
Yeah,
we're gonna-
we'll get there.
we'll get there.
Creatively Challenged is going to continue no matter what. Love you guys.
Yeah. So with that, as always, thank you for listening.
What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Blue, blue, blue.